Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Going the Distance, the show where we talk about sports and music. On today's show, the NFL trade deadline is over, so I've got a few trades to talk about. The World Series ended, so I'm going to talk about the championship of the World Series. The NASCAR season's over. I'm going to give you guys the champion for that, and as always, we're going to do the predictions for the next week in the NFL and the scores from the previous week. So before we get started, I want to thank you guys for joining me on the 100th episode of Going the Distance. Yes, I said 100 episodes, and I've got a special message at the end of the show for everybody. But before we get started, hit that thumbs up button and like the video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. All right, so let's jump into it. So first, we're going to talk NFL trades. And every year they have the trade deadline, and Monday just happened to be, Tuesday, just happened to be the day that it was the deadline. So a couple big trades that we're going to talk about are Jacoby Myers. Yes, a few weeks ago we talked about him wanting a trade out of the Raiders. Well, normally they're like, okay, you get the trade, they trade you right away. Knowing the trade deadline was Tuesday, they said, you know what? Yeah, we'll grant you a trade. We're not going to release you, but we'll trade you. But you probably said you're going to have to wait till the deadline. We're going to go out and we're going to find some people. Well, on Tuesday, Jacoby Myers was traded from the Raiders to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a 4th and 7th round pick. Now, Jacoby Myers is good. He played with the Patriots for a few seasons and did good. And then, he went to the Raiders, and he did good the first few seasons, but then kind of fell to the background when some of these other wide receivers came in. And then I think he just wasn't happy with the Raiders. So now he's with the Jags and should be eligible to play Sunday. So let's see how he does. Jameer Alexander was traded from the Baltimore Ravens to the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, that's a surprise to me because Jameer Alexander used to be with the Green Bay Packers. And I remember he ran his contract out and then went to Baltimore, where I thought he was going to be good. Well, he's done a few things, but nothing like everybody expected. So now he's going to Philly, and he's got that team around him of A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley. He's got Jalen Hurts throwing him the ball. So, he might, depending on how Philadelphia does this year, he might win the championship. And if he signs a contract, I definitely see a contract or a Super Bowl in his future. I don't think Philadelphia can do it this year, but in the future they can do it. In one of the biggest trades, in my opinion, that was a surprise, let's just say the Colts got some extra sauce on their roster. Yes, what do you mean by that? Yeah. Sauce Gardner was traded from the Jets to the Colts for a 2026 and a 2027 first-round pick and wide receiver Andoni Mitchell. I know I probably butchered that first name, but I did what I could. That's a big trade because Sauce Gardner was a big part of the Jets, and I know the Jets are 1-7 right now. But he's playing hard, and, he's giving it all he's got. And then he goes and gets traded like that. Now, maybe there was something behind the scenes that we didn't know about. But, you never know. But, Sauce Gardner's going to a team that more than likely will go to the Super Bowl this year in the Colts. The Colts are looking good under Daniel Jones, and they've got Jonathan Taylor. And, they're the team to beat right now. And I've got theories on that because Irsay's gone, so he's looking down on them, helping them out. So, but why couldn't he help them when he was alive? Just saying. But we'll see how Sauce Gardner does with the Colts. I'm sorry, traded from the Jets to the Colts. And there's enough time that he can get up there, learn the playbook, and be ready to go for Sunday. Also, the Jets traded Quentin Williams to Dallas for a 2027 first-round pick and defensive tackle Maisie Smith. Now, I can kind of see this because, nobody knows who Maisie Smith. Sorry, I stuttered there for a minute. Nobody knows who Maisie Smith is in Dallas. So you're going to take somebody like that, send him to the Jets, where maybe Aaron Glenn can do something with him. If not, maybe put him on the practice squad. But I think Quentin Williams is going to be a good addition to Dallas. Dallas needs everything they've got. And after what I saw Monday night, they need it. So those are some of the biggest trades. And as a news alert that I should say, I thought about this when I was talking about Jalen Hurts. But on Sunday night, when the Seattle Seahawks played the Washington Redskins, or the Commanders, Jaden Daniels dislocated his elbow in a very gruesome way. Wish I hadn't seen that video, but I saw it. And he's out indefinitely, which means the rest of the season and possibly some of next season. And I had somebody say to me that it looked like another injury from another player from years ago. I think it was Adrian Peterson when he broke his leg. And that was a gruesome one. I mean, it looked like with Jaden, the bone was just broken right in two and his arm was just flailing. I know that's gruesome, a gruesome image, but that's what it looked like. Okay, so now we're going to move into the Week 9 scores. And y'all, we had some good ones. We had some good scores this week. We started out on Thursday night. We had Lamar Jackson's return to starting competition with Baltimore as Baltimore improved to 3-5, defeating the Dolphins 28-6. So Lamar Jackson torches Miami with 4 touchdown passes in return from injury, and Ravens rout the Dolphins. Now, here's something interesting. On Friday, after that loss that Miami fired their general manager, said that Mike McDaniel would stay the rest of the season, but they fired their general manager. So they're starting to clean house. I see, after the season's over, I see this being Mike McDaniel's last season. And I think that's great because he's had so many opportunities that he hasn't taken. I mean, Tua was a great addition to that team, and he's done nothing. In fact, he's stopped Tua from doing what he could do. But that's just my thought. What are you guys' thoughts on Miami? Moving on to my opinion of the game of the week, we had the Bears defeat the Bengals 47-42. Let me say that again. The Bears defeated the Bengals 47-42. Yes, you heard me right. The Bears outlast the Bengals for a wild 47-42 win on Caleb Williams' touchdown pass to Loveland in final minutes. Now, here's something interesting. The Bengals have scored 38-plus points. This was their second game they've done it. Scored 38-plus points and lost both of them. In Week 8, they scored 38 points and lost to the Jets. Last week, they scored 42 points and lost to the Bears. Now, the Bears are on a tear this week. In fact, in my opinion, the Bears are my surprise team this season. I was talking this week, I saw promise I've always seen promise in Caleb Williams, but I thought with the team that he went to, he couldn't utilize that promise. Well, I think they found the answer in Ben Johnson. Yes, Detroit, he had to leave Detroit to do that, but in the end, Detroit's sitting at a pretty healthy record right now. In fact, the Bears and the Lions have the same record right now, which I think is interesting. But, Ben Johnson's doing something good, and everybody had such high hopes for Aaron Glenn with the Jets, and, they're sitting at a one-win season. And I know, they're first-year coaches, but you look at Vrabel, his first year in New England. We're doing great in New England. Ben Johnson with the Bears. Doing great with the Bears. But then you've got people like I'm sorry, his name is escaping me. The coach with the Saints. And you thought he had such high hopes for him. They're not doing great. So, Kellen Moore, that's his name. Kellen Moore with the Saints. I had such high hopes for him. He's still building that team. And I think a lot of that had to do with Derek Carr retiring. Had Derek not retired, New Orleans would be doing better. But, it is what it is. Anyway, congratulations to the Bears right now. And for the rest of the season, you are my surprise team for the season. Moving on, the Vikings defeated the Lions 27-24. Now, this was J.J. McCarthy's first game back from injury. And J.J. McCarthy throws for 2 touchdowns and runs for a score in his return as the Vikings beat the Lions 27-24. Now, Jared Goff wasn't too shabby either. He was 25 of 37 for 284 yards and 2 touchdowns. I've always thought Jared Goff was an underrated quarterback, but I think now, and I've said this before, he's found his home with the Lions. So that Stafford-Goff trade with the Rams in Detroit ended up being the perfect trade for both of them. They needed it, and it happened. Okay, moving on to a surprise score for the week. The Carolina Panthers, defeated the Green Bay Packers 16-13. Again, like the Bears-Bengals, let me say that again. The Carolina Panthers defeated the Green Bay Packers 16-13. And this was Bryce Young's return from injury. Bryce sat out 1 game with an ankle injury, and now he's back. And I would have thought the score would have been higher, but 16-13, Panthers win on a field goal. The Panthers are 5-4 now. They're doing good this season, and I think Bryce Young is finally utilizing the talent we all know he had. This is what he should have been doing 2 years ago, last year. It's taken him 3 years to find this. And I get the coach was new last year, so he had to learn the coach. I get that. But Bryce had been in that system for a year prior to the coach coming in. He should have been able to see things last year that he's seeing this year. But congratulations to Carolina. Moving on, the Chargers defeated the Titans 27-20. No big surprise. Justin Herbert shakes off a pick 6 as the Chargers beat the skidding Titans 27-20. Now, what do I mean by skidding? Titans got the number 1 pick last year. They're 1-8 this year. You would think with Cam Ward, they'd be blowing people out. With that number 1 pick, they'd just have it all. But they didn't, and now they fired the head coach, and we have an interim head coach. So, who knows? Moving on, the Patriots defeated the Falcons 24-23. Patriots, how did you let the Falcons score 23 points? Drake May was 19 to 29, 259 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It says Patriots hang on to beat Falcons 24-23 after late extra point miss by Atlanta. That's how that happened. Otherwise, this game would have been an overtime game. But the Patriots are 7-2 and leading the division, so I'm happy with that. Keep it up, guys. We're killing it this year. I'm happy about it. We're back to prominence again. And to me, this is the fastest turnaround of a team ever. And I credit that because Vrabel came from that dynasty team. And he knew he worked under Tom. He worked under Bill. And he knows what the winning mindset is. Now, Gerard Mayo did too, but I think he got stifled. And he knew that Vrabel was going to come on, so he just had to get through last season. Well, now he got through last season. Vrabel's on the scene, and we're 7-2. Yeah, I'm thrilled. Moving on, the 49ers defeated the Giants 34-24. Christian McCaffrey and the 49ers run all over the Giants on their way to winning 34-24. I'm not surprised. We're talking about the Giants here. Jackson Dart, Eli Manning Jr. In a score I really wish I didn't have to say, the Pittsburgh Steelers defeated the Colts 27-20. Y'all, the Colts are a team that have been doing so great all season. Why did you fold to Aaron Rodgers? It looked like you just gave up. You got 20 points, but you just gave up. Why did you do that, Colts? Daniel Jones played probably one of his worst games of the season. After he's been blowing teams out, he was 31 of 50 for 342 yards and 1 touchdown. And the Steelers are riddled with injuries. And they forced 6 turnovers to a Colts team who's now 7-2. The Colts had the best record in the NFL. Now the Colts are tied with the Patriots and the Broncos with the best record in the NFL. They all are 7-2, and I know I haven't gotten to that Broncos score yet, but they won and they're 7-2. Get it together, Colts. I hope the Sauce Gardner trade was what y'all needed. Because that was ridiculous. I watched that game. That was ridiculous. As I said, I didn't get to the Broncos game, but I'll get to it soon. The Broncos are next. The Broncos defeated the Texans 18-15. The Broncos rallied to beat the Texans 18-15 with a last-second field goal. The Texans have won 3 games. They were rolling. Those 3 wins, one or two of those wins have been wins that they had against really good teams, like the Broncos this season. And the Broncos have clawed their way back every year. So, as it stands right now, if the playoffs were to start right now, the Colts would be first, the Broncos would be second, the Patriots would be third. They've all got a 7-2 record. Moving on, Jacksonville defeated the Raiders 30-29 in overtime. Let me say that again, as I said with a couple others. The Jaguars defeated the Raiders in overtime 30-29. The Jaguars are 5-3. Yes, I said it. The Jaguars are 5-3. And again, if the playoffs were to start right now, they would be in the playoffs. And what can we attribute this to? Trevor Lawrence has been there. The coach and Travis Henry. That's what I think. Not Travis Henry. Travis Hunter. Liam Cohen and Travis Hunter are the two new additions to the Jaguars, and the Jaguars are 5-3. It's something, y'all. Anyway, moving on. The Rams defeat the Saints 34-10. In the second best game of the week, the Buffalo Bills defeat the Kansas City Chiefs 28-21. Allen has 3 touchdowns and the Bills use sturdy defense to top Mahomes and the Chiefs 28-21. Josh Allen was 23 of 26, 273 yards and 1 touchdown. That was a great game. And the Chiefs tried everything. The refs tried everything to get the Chiefs to win. They couldn't get it done. The Bills beat them in the end. And the Bills beat the Chiefs every time in the regular season. Why can't they beat them in the postseason? Maybe they can this year. We'll see. Moving on to the Sunday night game. The Seahawks defeat the Redskins, Commanders, 38-14. Sam Darnold was 21 of 24, 330 yards and 4 touchdowns. Okay. Sam Darnold leads Seahawks to easy 38-14 win over Redskins Commanders, who lose Jaden Daniels to arm injury. Now, that we're talking about this, that score was 31-7 Seahawks going into halftime. Why Jaden Daniels was still playing in the first half is beyond me. They should have taken him out and put Marcus Mariota in. And Dan Quinn took responsibility for it. Said, that's on me. I should have taken him out and put in our second string in Mariota. Why didn't you, Dan? Why didn't the owners call down and say, take Jaden out? We're getting our butts kicked. Take him out. Instead, he played, and at the end of the first half, Jaden Daniels goes down with an injury. And now he's out indefinitely. The Jaden Daniels more than likely won't be the same. His game will not be the same because of this injury. And I don't blame Dan. I more than likely blame part of the owners for not telling Dan to take him out. But it is what it is. Anyway, moving on. The Cardinals defeat the Cowboys 27-17. Under Jacoby Brissett, who I found out is going to be their number one starting quarterback moving forward. Jacoby's going to be their starter in Arizona for the next week, as Kyler Murray's still not ready with that foot injury. Jacoby Brissett was 21 of 31, 261 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Dak Prescott had a minor ankle injury in that game. How convenient is that, Dak? You get an ankle injury when your team is losing so bad. Your team's losing and your record stinks. Get it together, Dallas. Anyway, moving on to the Week 10 scores. We have, starting on Thursday night at 8:15 on Prime, we have the Raiders at the Broncos. I'm picking the Broncos. These are the predictions. On Sunday, we have the Falcons at the Colts. I believe the Colts rally from their loss last week to the worst team, Pittsburgh Steelers, to beat the Falcons. So I picked the Colts. We have the Bears at the Giants. Really? I'm picking the Bears in that game. The next game is a division game. We have the Bills at the Dolphins. I'm picking the Bills. We have the Ravens at the Vikings. I'm picking the Vikings in that game. I don't know. Yeah, I'm picking the Vikings in that game. Even though Lamar's back and did really good, I still think the Vikings are going to win that game. We have the Browns at the Jets. I'm going to pick the Browns in that one. In what I think is going to be the game of the week. Yes, write this down, y'all. The game of the week this week. The Patriots at the Buccaneers. And I'm sorry, Baker Mayfield. I like you, but this is not your week. I think the Patriots are going to come out and win this game. In another division game, we have the Saints at the Panthers. I'm picking the Panthers. We have the Jaguars at the Texans in another division game. I'm picking the Jags. We have the Cardinals at the Seahawks. I'm picking the Cardinals in that game. Number one, because I can't pull for Seattle. And number two, after what I saw last week from Arizona, Arizona's got a fighting chance with Jacoby Brissett. In another division game, we have the Rams at the Niners. I'm picking the Niners in that game. We have the Lions at the Redskins, Commanders. I'm picking the Lions. On Sunday night, here we go again, y'all. On Sunday night, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the LA Chargers. I'm picking the Chargers. Aaron Rodgers just can't get it done, so I'm picking the Chargers. And on Monday night, we have the Eagles at the Packers. I'm picking the Packers in that game. And as for a bye week, we have the Bengals, Cowboys, Titans, and Chiefs. Who are y'all's predictions, y'all? Drop it in the comments. Okay, moving on to the World Series. We're going to start with Game 4. The Blue Jays defeated the Dodgers 6-2, tie the series at 2. The next night, Game 5, the Blue Jays defeated the Dodgers 6-1. Blue Jays lead the series 3-2. In Game 6, which is the deciding game I thought was going to be the deciding game, the Dodgers defeated the Blue Jays 3-1 to tie that series at 3. Now, that pushed it to a Game 7. And y'all, that Game 7 was wild. The Dodgers defeated the Blue Jays 5-4 in 11 innings. So the Dodgers win the series 4-3. Yes, the Dodgers win the World Series with a score of 5-4 in 11 innings to win the series 4-3. Now, if you guys remember, Clayton Kershaw, a pitcher for the Dodgers, one of the greats, spent 18 seasons with the Dodgers, and now he goes out a champ. And in the parade, when they're able to talk, when they got to the stadium, he said, "I am a champion for life." And yes, you are. You went out on top just like I thought you would. So congratulations to the Dodgers. I am so happy for y'all. Moving on, we also had the NASCAR Cup Series Championship, and I know I haven't covered NASCAR, but I've been mad at them. But this season, Hendrick Motorsports driver Kyle Larson wins the championship, does not lead a lap, and comes in, I believe, second or third in the race, and wins the championship. Denny Hamlin came in second in the points championship after leading 208 laps. They have a final caution where he drops down in the pack, finishes sixth, and comes in second in the championship. You could see the air just came out of it. He was tired. He was emotional. And as much as I'm not a big fan of Denny Hamlin, I felt bad for the guy. Because he did, he's in the championship more than he's not. He's in almost every year, and he just can't do it. He comes in second. He comes in third. Every year in the championship. It's like he gets this close and he just can't reach. He just can't reach it. He's right here. If he just reaches a little more, maybe he can do it. But he can't reach. He's giving it all he's got, y'all. But this is the first time, not the first time, but this is Kyle Larson's second championship, and one of the first times that, you know, you don't lead a lap and you win the race and you win the championship. Jimmy Johnson's done it, so, and I think Chase Elliott did it. But now, Kyle, I am so happy. You're my second driver in NASCAR, and I couldn't be happier for you, buddy. Congratulations, you deserve it. Okay, y'all. So this is where I would do my what we're listening to segment, but I am going to forego this because this is a milestone episode for me. This is episode 100. And I thought it would be good to thank everybody for listening to me and listening to 100 episodes. And I know we've been through it. We've been through Kansas City championships. We've been through Philadelphia championships. We've been through the Joey Logano saga with NASCAR. We covered the Dodgers winning last year. We had Michigan win the championship. So we've been through 2 national championships in Michigan and Ohio State. We haven't done the Kansas City championship, but we had Philadelphia win. No, we did Kansas City win. Kansas City won last year. Philadelphia won this year. So we've been through a Kansas City and a Philadelphia championship. We've had the Florida Panthers win twice in hockey. You know, we've been through it, y'all. We went through the Patriots' disaster season last season, only winning 4 games. But I want to thank you guys for sticking with me and supporting me and watching every week. I couldn't do this without you guys. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you guys that watch this video and make this possible. I can't believe it's 100 episodes. And I feel like I should do more, but all I can do is say thank you and help me make it another 100. Help me make it, another 200, 300, 400. This can go as long as you guys help me out. And I want to make this like a family. So you guys are family to me. So, and I couldn't do it without y'all. So thank you. And I hope the knowledge that I've given you guys is, you've taken and you've helped other people experience, what's going on in sports. Some of the best teams in sports. Some of the best quarterbacks. And I still, every week, want to know who you guys are listening to. Who are y'all's favorite sports? And who are y'all's favorite teams? I ask that every week, I know. And I know y'all probably get sick of it. But, I genuinely want to know. Because y'all's comments and y'all's feedback is what I want to hear. And if you give me a genre of music or a band or an artist and I listen to them and I like them, it's going to be on what we're listening to. So more people can get out and listen to them because that's what I want to do. I want to get out there and I want to help people explore new music, explore new sports, and know some of this, maybe know something about football that y'all didn't know before. So I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I love each and every one of y'all. But that's all I've got for this week, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed the 100th episode. I love you all. Have a good rest of the week, and God bless.